Hello, and I welcome you to UPSC Prelims Chaturya series of Shanta Lakshmi IAS Academy, where we would be discussing daily prelims MCQs from the Hindu, Indian Express, and PIB. So let's begin. First question. Consider the following statements regarding exit polls. Statement 1. It is conducted after the completion of the voting process. Statement 2. Only state-run media is permitted to conduct exit polls. Statement 3. The Election Commission has no powers with respect to exit polls. How many of the above statements is or are incorrect? Only one, only two, all three, none of the above. So if you look at the statement 1, it is conducted after completion of the voting process. Yes, the name exit polls itself denotes that it is conducted after the completion of the voting process. So statement 1 is correct. Coming to statement 2, only state-run media is permitted to conduct this exit polls. So this statement is incorrect because not just the state-run media, even some other various agencies are even permitted to conduct these exit polls. So statement 2 is incorrect. Coming to third statement, the Election Commission has no power with respect to exit polls. No. Election Commission can regulate the exit polls. Again, statement 3 is incorrect. So how many of the above statements are incorrect? 2 of the above statements were incorrect. Option B is the correct answer. So why we have been discussing this question? Because in the context of the recent assembly elections in various states such as Telangana, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan, exit polls have been conducted. So in this context, we have been discussing this question. So during the election process, we have two types of polls. One is opinion poll and another one is exit poll. So opinion poll is conducted before the election. So it is a pre-election survey. Why? To gather the voter views on various election related issues. Whereas exit poll, it is a post-election survey. It is conducted immediately after the people have voted, and it will assess the support for political parties and their candidates. This conducted by various survey agencies, not just state-run media. So the first exit polls in India is conducted in 1957, that is during the second Lok Sabha elections, by the Indian Institute of Public Opinion. So these exit poll results are very useful to media to fill a bit of airtime before the announcement of the results. In February 2010, restrictions were imposed on the exit polls through the introduction of Section 126A of the Representations of the People's Act. With this, Election Commission has the powers to regulate the exit polls. Next question. Consider the following statements with respect to Provisional State of Global Climate Report 2023. Statement 1. The report is released by the World Meteorological Organization. Statement 2. According to the report, world has already crossed the long-term warming threshold of 1.5 degrees Celsius. So which of the above statements is or are correct? One only, two only, both one and two, neither one, not two. So this report has been in the news because why? The Provisional State of Global Climate Report 2023 was recently released by World Meteorological Organization. Statement 1 is correct. Coming to second statement, according to the report, world has already crossed the long-term warming threshold of 1.5 degrees Celsius. So this is incorrect. Why? Because the world is about to cross the threshold of 1.5 degrees. It has not already crossed it. It is about to cross this threshold of 1.5 degrees Celsius. So which of the above statements are correct? One only. Option A is the correct answer. It is released by the Provisional State of Global Climate Report is released by World Meteorological Organization. It is confirmed that 2023 will be the warmest year on record by a larger margin. So some of the key highlights of the report were that 2023 is the warmest year in the 174-year observational record, surpassing the previous years. The world is about to cross the long-term warming threshold of 1.5 degrees Celsius. Some other key findings of the report were that the greenhouse gas levels, global temperatures, sea level rises are at a record high because of the excess carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. Even the Antarctic sea ice is at a record low. The greenhouse gas levels are continue to increase, and the extreme weather will cause death and devastation. So these are some of the key findings of this report. Next question. With reference to the X-ray polarimeter satellite, consider the following statements. XPOSat is designated for the observation from geostationary transfer orbit and high Earth orbit. Second statement, it comprises two scientific payloads, both developed indigenously by DRDO. Second one, the mission life of XPOSat is expected to be approximately 5 years. So how many of the statements given above is or are correct? One only, two only, all three, none. If we look at the statement one, it is incorrect because XPOSat is designated for the observation of X-ray polarization from low Earth orbit, not from geostationary transfer orbit or else high Earth orbit. It will observe from the low Earth orbit. So statement one is incorrect. Coming to second statement, it comprises two scientific payloads. Yes, it is comprised by two scientific payloads, that is POLIX and EXPECT, both developed indigenously by DRDO. So this part of the statement is incorrect because they are not developed by DRDO. They are developed by some other regional institutes, such as, POLIX payload was developed by Raman Research Institute, Bangalore, whereas EXPECT, which is another payload of this XPOSat, it is developed by UR Rao Satellite Center, ISRO. So statement 2 is incorrect. Coming to third statement, the mission life of XPOSat is expected to be approximately 5 years. Yes, third statement is correct. So how many of the statements given above are correct? One only. Option A is the correct answer. So ISRO is set to launch its first X-ray polarimeter satellite. Why? To investigate the polarization of the X-ray sources. So the spacecraft is designated for observation of the polarization of the X-rays from low Earth orbit. It will carry two scientific payloads. They were POLIX and EXPECT. POLIX stands for Polarimeter Instrument in X-rays. It is developed by Raman Research Institute, Bangalore, with the support from various ISRO centers. So this POLIX is designed to measure the polarimetry parameters. It will measure the polarimetry parameters, whereas EXPECT means X-ray spectroscopy and timing payload, which is developed by UR Rao Satellite Center, ISRO. So it will provide information about the X-rays and it will observe the X-ray sources during the spacecraft transit in the low Earth orbit. The mission life is expected to be approximately 5 years. So that's it about it. Next question, with reference to World Malaria Report 2023, consider the following statements. India witnessed an increase in malaria cases and deaths in the year 2022. Second one, globally, a decrease in malaria cases and deaths in 2022 have been recorded. Malaria is caused by Plasmodium parasite. How many of the statements given above is or are not correct? One only, two only, all three, none. So some of the key findings with regard to the findings of this report, if we look at the statement one, India witnessed an increase in malaria cases and deaths in 2022. So this report has stated that India has witnessed a decline in malaria cases and deaths in 2022. It has not increased. So statement one is incorrect because specifically in India, there was decline in malaria cases and deaths in the year 2022. Coming to statement 2, globally a decrease in malaria cases and deaths in 2022 have been recorded. So this statement is incorrect again. But globally there were increase in malaria cases and deaths in 2022. So in India, we saw a decline of malaria cases and deaths, whereas across the world, if you look at global level, there were increase in malaria cases and deaths in 2022. Coming to third statement, malaria is caused by the Plasmodium parasite. So the statement is correct. It is caused by the Plasmodium parasite. So how many of the statements given above is or are not correct? So 2 of the above statements were not correct. Option B is the correct answer. So the World Malaria Report 2023 was recently published by the World Health Organization, which is a United Nations specialized agency for health. As per the report, contrasting the global trend in India, we witnessed a decline in malaria cases and deaths in 2022 compared to earlier year, that is compared to 2021. If you look at at global level, there were increase in malaria cases and deaths in 2022. Coming to the disease specifically, malaria is caused by the Plasmodium parasitic protozoa, which is transmitted to humans through the bites of infected female Anopheles mosquito. So it is transmitted to humans through the bites of infected female Anopheles mosquito. Next question. Bali Jatra, a festival seen in news, is celebrated in the state of Assam, Odisha, Rajasthan, Jharkhand. The correct answer is Odisha. Bali Jatra is a festival that is seen in the Odisha state. So this has been in the news because recently Odisha government has inaugurated the Bali Jatra on the banks of Mahanadi river in Cuttack. This Bali Jatra or Yatra, Bali Yatra, is considered to be the one of the Asia's largest open trade fair. The festival is held in Odisha in Cuttack on the banks of the Mahanadi river. Why? To mark the day when the ancient Sadabas, that is Odia mariners, to mark the day when Odia mariners are set to sail to distant lands for trade purposes. This festival begins on Kartika Purnima. During the fair, people will sell some decorative miniature boats which are made up of banana stems and paper or thermocol to celebrate the Botia Bandhana, that is a worshipping of the boats. To celebrate these worshipping of the boats, they'll sell these decorative miniature boats. So by this, we are concluding this session. I hope this session was helpful to you. Thank you.